I started the program in University of Arkansas, and so that was the time when I had Dr. Maganos as my doctoral dissertation committee member, and that was my inspiration to get more involved in adult education field, because he represented a great mentor and role model for me to learn in this field. Thank you. For my advice at this moment, I think every student, every adult learner should ask themselves one important question, which is who they are. And the core value will come out from that question. So it is very important to ask that question when they get into this program, because if they don't know who they are and they don't define themselves, so who should define them? And being adult learner or adult educator, we need to know who we are and then be genuine and authentic to ourselves, and then the learning counts. I think that the beauty of the adult education is value the experiences of our life, and that is very, very important, because that reflect to our past journey, and then for our life we use our experience and march on the future, so that we cannot separate the past, current, and the future. So adult learning and adult education value the experiences. No matter the experience is good or not good, we learn from that, and we need to accept that the situation what we had, and then we try to improve and then try to learn from that experience and apply the experiences. So that is the beauty of the adult education. I think adult education focus on using our own experiences. So anybody can be unique to take their hero's journey. So the hero's journey is the beauty and the best part to use this metaphor to march on the future. So I would say, we should apply our experiences, no matter what kind of experiences, and we learn from that and go from that. That stop the point. Then we will say we are in the track of our writing of our own history and the journey of our hero's journey. The hero journey, actually, I try to bring in this because this is not my invention, and it was from the American famous mythologist Joseph Campbell's idea. And then he actually had a great, philosophy for the hero's journey, and that means no matter which country or which culture you are from, you have one story for hero. So hero have thousands of faces, but only have one story, which is get to that destination and then go through the journey, and then meeting with the ally or other adversities, and encounter some obstacles, and then overcome those darkness. And that was hero journey. So that is about adult learning and adult education's journey also. Adult education is very important to me because it's not only because I'm in this field, but also I think it's also, reflect to my life, journey. Because it's adult education, like I say, value our own experiences. And then as a human being, we need to think about we are all connected to each other. So we share the one globe, but we have different stories and experiences, whatever we came from. And those experiences should be valued. And then that is the special thing for me to think about adult education. I came from Taiwan, and in my institution, it tend to have the idea adult education become Asian education. So it's for only for older people, the elder people. This is not right. Adult education include many things. It's an interdisciplinary study, and then you can say, being adult is above the 18 years. So whatever adult life pattern will evolve into adult education. So not only that the older adult, but also the younger adult, and then how to get the career aspiration, how to make our own decision, and how to have self actualization. Those all count in adult education. So it's not about Asian education. Thank you. I would like to recommend Dr. McConnell's his major book, The Adult Learner. So that book is the I would say the Bible of adult learning. Oh yes, my research is about intercultural effectiveness competency and global leadership. So I focus on this study since I was a doctoral student and never changed for this research stream. And then it is very important to develop intercultural competency in this century because we are interconnected in this century more than the historical perspective. So in our in our era, we are facing a big challenge, a global challenge, to reduce the conflict, the cultural conflict, and to bring in more cultural responsiveness idea in higher education. And so that is my idea. Thank you. The future of adult education, I would say we need to focus on like the United Nations, UNESCO's idea for 21st centuries sustainable learning, especially living, learn to live together. So we are not only learn to do or learn to be or learn to know, but we need to know how to learn to live together, which we need to prepare ourselves a global ready competency, which is intercultural competency or global competency, and then try to transform each other or the society in a better way. Um, okay, so teaching for me, I have been a faculty in University of Missouri St. Louis. So I use the same andragogical teaching, practice in Taiwan and the U.S. And I figure out that, in Taiwan, the university I taught, the first semester I went, students did not get used to that situation. And they probably think that is not the way it should do. They expected the lecture more, and instead of the bring in the reflections and also, writing down that the journal, their reflective journal. So after 1 or 2 years, they see the that the great part and the beauty. So originally the first semester, I was really surprised that students, the evaluation they did not show the great idea for this instructional method. And I understand, I keep going and keep doing this, and I I patiently form that trusting relationship with students. Finally, I think 1 year, it took me 1 year to let the student understand this is the way we should have, especially this way we can have more creativity, power, and critical thinking through the dialogue and then reflection we use in that classroom. Dr. Margonos was a great American scholar, and I was honored to have him as my doctoral committee um, member. And I think I was his last doctoral student, definitely. And because he passed away in the second year when I went back to Taiwan as a professor. And I would say we had a couple meeting in the conference room for discussion my dissertation. I still remember he always came earlier, and then the time I did not know he had a brain tumor, and he never showed the unpleasant attitude to me, or or any painful like those kind of physical situation to me. Instead, his bright smile with that the twinkling eyes, you know, it really touched my heart. And he always opened the door for me, and then also pulled a chair for me as a teacher. And then for me, I was from the Asian culture. I feel so first of all I feel uncomfortable to have that privilege, because I also pulled that chair and tried to open the door for him. I'm sorry. And then I saw off him in front of the elevator gate, and then he thought I was coming down together. And then I said, no, I just try to show my respect, and then seeing you here. And he was very surprised. So we had a wonderful intercultural exchange in interaction to share each other's value, and as a teacher and as a student. So he knew and he learned also from the interaction. And I think this is a mutual learning. It's not only just top down authority to the subordinate, those kind of teacher centers uh, yeah like style, but instead it's learner center style and facilitator style, so motivator style. So I think being a leader or being a teacher, we should always remember that, and that is the way we should bring into our class. Thank you. I would say that always follow your bliss, and then remember to ask yourself who you are and what is the thing you truly believe, and don't just follow the mainstream all the time, and understand that the life we have here is not only for making money, but making a wonderful, yes, meaningful life, and then pay back to that world we have enjoyed And even the time goes, against you, sometimes the dark, time come, or the obstacle time come. And don't just, give up. And then believe me, that is not only you. Everybody goes through that. And that is a learning journey. And we need to keep going. And then don't forget, as an adult learner, we have our experiences as our background. So march on the future. Follow your bliss and follow your yellow brick road. Have fun and enjoy your life. Thank you.